joining us live after BYU football practice right now to get us set for the Cougars and the Wolfpack, wide receiver Mitch Mathews. Mitch, how you doing today?
I'm great. How about you guys?
We are fantastic. We want to talk football. Surprise, surprise. Are you okay with that?
I'm ready for it.
Mitch could hoop too, though. If you remember, before Gonzaga 2 years ago, Mitch had there was a dunk contest and Mitch threw down. Can we do that again, Mitch?
I'm ready. Whenever my name gets called, I'm running on the court.
If we didn't have Boom Shakalaka Friday before the Nevada game, you could have been in the dunk contest.
I'd be there for sure.
Do you think you can sneak out Friday night and come to Boom Shakalaka, Mitch?
Yeah, no, I already got the plans made, how to escape the hotel and everything. So
Good thing no one's watching or listening to this on national TV.
Just kidding.
BYU wide receiver Mitch Mathews joining BYU Sports Nation right now. Okay, Mitch, back half of the season. 6 games down, 6 to go. What's the team mentality as you begin with Nevada this Saturday?
One game at a time. Support each other. You know, we started really hot, and we've ended up in a little bit of a rut with a couple losses. But what I love about this team is it doesn't affect, the next game, and it doesn't affect us going forward. And we trust our quarterback, we trust our offense and our defense, and we're ready to move forward and keep making a name for ourselves no matter what players are on the field.
What kind of difference have you seen and felt as you went from the beginning of the Utah State game to now as you prepare for Nevada?
I just think more discipline in practice. That's one of the things that we lacked, and that's why we lost the game against Utah State is, obviously they played well, but we were that was our most undisciplined game, probably the game with the most costly penalties and costly plays. And so that's something that we've been working on in practice is our discipline, false starts, holding, pass interference, everything. So at least speaking for the offense, we're working on cleaning that up and playing more sound, and when we do that, it's hard to beat us.
Christian Stewart now in start number 2 this Saturday against Nevada. He seemed to kind of find a groove there in the second half at UCF. What is the prognosis on Christian Stewart and his game and the offensive rhythm of BYU right now?
I think we need to have faith in him because, everyone loves him at practice. And, with him and Taysom at practice, it was impossible to stop them both. They both have different talents. And Christian loves to throw the ball, and he really can. So it's us putting our faith in him and carrying a lot of the load. He's a new quarterback, and these are his first few starts. So, for me and the rest of the receivers and Jordan, it's taking a load upon ourselves, not putting more on him. All the eyes, of BYU Nation and in the country are looking at Christian Stewart to see what he can do, but really it's up to the guys around him to support him and bring him up so that we can make him look as good as possible.
What were some of the takeaways you had after the UCF game from that?
We battled. We got up, I think, 10-24 or something like that, and we coasted a little bit, and then it got time to needing to play again. I think we stepped it up and started playing again, but that is the reason why we lost the game. Is it was too much of a roller coaster type game. We get down, then we get way up, and then we tie it back up, and then we end up getting back down. So it's one of those things that you got to eliminate the roller coaster effect, and that's the key to that is putting your foot on the gas pedal as hard as you can, even when you're up 2 touchdowns, and that's something that. We want to start fast, unlike we did against UCF, but when we are up and when we do have that opportunity to be up, to keep going up and up and up, to give ourselves that cushion for the end of the game so they can make a comeback like they did.
Junior wide receiver Mitch Mathews on BYU Sports Nation. Mitch, the consensus from the national media, at least the people that we've talked to, Reese Davis at ESPN, Trevor Matich at ESPN, is that BYU is a mentally tough team. Given how many injuries this team has gone through, Why is it that BYU can still find a way to compete? Because, to be honest, a lot of teams would fold given the adversity that this team has gone through. Why will BYU not do that?
We have great coaches that make us tough, and that's something that's drilled into our head is how to be tough no matter what happens. And, BYU has always been a tough team, and so we could never look our past generations in the eye and the national championship team and the team a few years ago who was really good. We couldn't look them in the eye and not be tough. And so it's keeping that legacy going forward and being tough, being gritty all the time. And that's the type of football we play. And a lot of that has to do with the defense, how hard they go and how hard they hit. It even makes the offense tough. So the more they play smash-mouth football and the more our linemen do what they do best, and that's going after and getting after people. And it just starts a culture of playing tough, and that's what we live by.
Speaking of tough, I thought the game changed when the offense realized, we can ground and pound with Paul and Algernon. That's the competitive advantage. Will we see more of that? Less leaning on maybe Christian Stewart and his ability to make a play and more of, we got some good running backs?
No, actually. Well, those guys, you give them the ball a ton, and they'll make things happen. I mean, those guys are scary dudes. I would not want to be tackling them. I mean, let's be honest. They're great running backs. They played UCF played a defense that was very for the run, and very very for them. And those guys stepped up huge. And I was super proud of Paul and Algie and how well they did. And they can play really well. We're not going to change the game plan at all. Because we have faith in Christian, and that's what I was getting at is we're not going to change our game plan and change everything up just for one guy because Christian can do, a lot of the things that Taysom did. He can throw the ball, he can make plays with his legs, and he can do everything else. And so we trust him, and we're going to have the same game plan, and Christian's going to step up, and we're all going to step up and make things happen just the way we've been doing it for those first 4 games.
Mitch, I'm going to ask you this a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but is there some super duper ankle tape that BYU can put out for?
Honestly, it is a phenomenon. I don't know what it is. I'm wearing a couple ankle braces myself, and I've got bubble wrap over my whole body just like we know it is a phenomenon to everyone, but it's one of those things where ankles are happening, but most guys are coming back and getting healthy, so it's not too bad. It's just something they have to play through and play with. And as a football player, there's no such thing as ever playing healthy. There's always something that's keeping you down, always something that's giving you pain, and so it just happens to be ankles this year. So let's just hope that there's no more and keep moving forward.
So if we see packaging peanuts falling out of your pads, that'll make sense now?
That's totally normal. It's normal from now on.
Okay. Are you aware of who Brock Hecking is on the Nevada defense?
Yeah, the defensive lineman.
The dude with the hair, right?
Yep, the Dallin Levitt look.
Yes, that's exactly right. If Dallin could have it longer. Is it hard in a moment of aggression to maybe not tug on that?
Honestly, for me, no, because I think as receivers, we're told to get as far away as we can from those big guys. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to ever be near those guys enough to do that. But, I would love to get the down look myself just so I can be a little bit tougher, I guess.
Would you really? If you could, you would do that?
No, I don't think I could do it. It's for one guy on the team and one guy only. So.
It's kind of it's the buzz, right? Is that the motivation
there? Yep, exactly.
It looks good.
Yeah, we may compare.
He probably can't take a test or play intramurals, but it looks good.
Yeah, he would not be allowed on campus, that's for sure.
BYU junior wide receiver Mitch Mathews on BYU Sports Nation. You've had some time now to look at Nevada and what they do defensively. What kind of a defensive scheme do they run, and how do you plan to exploit that?
They play a lot like UCF, actually. They're very tough. DBs are very physical, just like last week. They'll come up and hit you. And so it's good for us. We had a week to prepare for UCF, and that actually, in a way, gets us a little bit ready for Nevada. They have some very good athletes on their defense, and I don't know obviously much about their offense except they have a running quarterback that's really good and some receivers that are good. But on defense, they'll come up and hit you, and they're physical. So good thing we played UCF the week before to prepare for that.
Well, Mitch, thanks for the time. Good luck with the packaging inside the pads, and get a good nap on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys.